Hey everyone, as always, Dylan Miller Prospecting, and today we're going to be looking at a futuristic gold pan, and this is it. Now, while this is just a black SE pan, it has the logo on the back, so I know it is an SE pan. A third party has added in a new material in the bottom that is supposed to help it catch fine gold. Now, ever since I saw Julie over at Banshee Mining do a video on this, I've wanted to add one to my collection and to play with it a little bit and test to see how it actually works. Now, one of the things about this pan is not only is it supposed to catch the gold, but it is not supposed to release it until you add a releasing agent to it. So I'm gonna be curious to see if it actually catches the gold and if this chemical actually works to help release it. So let's go to the overhead. I'm going to show you a couple little things I'm going to be doing with it and look at this chemical a little bit more and the pan as well. So let's go to the overhead. All right, so this is what I'm going to be testing the pan out with. I have some -40 black sands as well as some -40 gold. And this is not going to be a review. It's just me playing around with a brand new pan. Because as far as I know, this pan has only been sold at a gold show. The person who makes it has never put them up on their website, and they might not ever. If they do, maybe I will come back and do an official review on this pan. But for today, this is just going to be me playing around with the gold pan. See how it works, and if it makes panning out fine gold a little bit easier. So let's check out the pan a little bit closer. As you can see, it does have the SE brand on there. Hopefully you can see that, but it is a SE branded pan that they've added a special material to, which might be one of the reasons why it's not being sold commercially, because it is pretty tricky to get a patent on something that's already has a patent and you're just adding to it. But who knows? I did contact the company and I never heard back from them. I contacted them, I tried to call them, and I sent them some emails. So I'm just going to play around and have some fun with this pan. Now, this is the de-sticking agent or the release agent. And let me put in a disclaimer. Do not do the things I do or I say I did in my videos if they might be unsafe, and this one is. Now, I did smell this chemical as well as taste it because I thought it might just be a soap type material like jet dry or soap or something like that, and it is not. It is not a soapy material, and when I tasted it, it's a very familiar smell and even sadly taste to it. It's slightly oily. I don't know if it's a type of cleaner or oil. Looks like brake fluid, but smells like floor cleaner. I'm not really so sure. Maybe this might be a proprietary chemical, and I really hope it isn't, because if you buy this pan, if it's ever available in the future, and then you're stuck having to buy a chemical every time you want to get your gold off the pan, I'm not so sure I would like to buy that type of pan. But if it's just something you can buy off the shelf, then I'm all for it. We'll have to see. For right now, let's go get some water and start panning with this pan and see how it works. All right, so I have some water, have the pan. There's the gold and black sands. I'm gonna mix it up, start adding it to here. Now, I did not add any chemicals to the water, no jet dry or anything like that, because I want to see how this does without any of that. And then if it doesn't work, or if it does work, we'll start adding other stuff to it. So let's just add this in. As you can see, the water is really beating up, like it desperately wants some jet dry added to it. But I'm going to try not to add any and see how the pan works. Now, I am seeing gold coming down to the bottom. So, I'm not really seeing the gold really sticking anything extra to the pan. So we're going to add a little bit of jet dry just to see if it changes how the pan works. There were no instructions with this pan. I didn't see this myself at the gold show, so I'm sure there's a ton of questions somebody could ask. I'm just not the person to ask, and unfortunately, the questions I asked went unanswered, but let's see how this works. So let's just listen to some music for a while I play with this. We'll see if we can't get it down. Just to speed this up a little bit, I'm going to use a magnet just to clean out, just to see. I just washed it into another pan. I didn't want to dump it into my catch pan. I'm going to add some of the release agent. I want to see what this does to it. Definitely an interesting pan. The gold does tend to want to stick to this material, but not so much that you can be careless and you won't lose any, because while I was panning it very carefully, the gold did travel all the way down to the bottom of the pan where I would have washed it out if I would have tried to just clean it. So not so sure about how much more it sticks than just a regular finishing pan, like an SE pan or even the Falcon pan. But once you add the chemical, this little stuff here, it definitely does seem to close up the pores or make whatever this is a little bit less sticky, and the gold does move a lot faster down it. Add some jet dry. See if that deactivates whatever that chemical was. Gold doesn't seem to be moving as freely as it was before. So I'm definitely thinking that this is some type of oil or petroleum-based product, something like that, that is sealing up whatever this chemical is that looks like silicone. And that's why once I added in the jet dry, it counteracted that. So very interesting. I mean, it does seem to help. It actually, if you only have a little bit of material in here, it definitely seems to make it a lot easier to pan out. You know, if you've got like something like this, if you've already worked your pan down, it does seem to keep the gold up there. I mean, there is some still going down, you know, like if you watch that little piece right there, definitely moving. It's a tough call. I don't know if it's a drastic difference than just a good finishing pan and slow moving water. But I do like the color. The purple is pretty good color in contrast to make it easier to see that the black sand and the gold. Well, that was definitely interesting. I like the pan. I will add it to my shelf. I'm not sure I will use it as a finishing pan just because of the fact that it's got a release agent to it. And I don't want to be tied into having to use a release agent. Maybe one day if I find out what that release agent is and I can buy it in large quantities off of Walmart or Amazon, maybe then. But it is definitely a different pan. And like I said, it is just an SE pan that they poured something into, some type of material. Feels like silicone. I want to say it's some type of oil-based material. And that way the release agent is just more oil-based, something that fills up the pores on it. It didn't prevent the gold from going to the bottom of the pan. If you were a little bit aggressive, if the gold was a really fine gold and it wanted to float a little bit, it did move down the pan. So pretty nice pan. I liked it. It's going to definitely be added to my shelf. I'm not sure it's the future of finished pans, but that was just me saying that for a thumbnail. They haven't posted anything saying that this is the future of gold pans. That's something I just threw up there. But it is definitely intriguing, and I'll be curious to see if this is ever released mass market and find out some more information about it. And if I do find out any information about this, I will post on my YouTube community any news I find out about this pan, because it is definitely interesting. And I'm sure it might be in beta testing right now. They could always add more features to it, put it in a different pan other than the SE pan. But overall, pretty nice. I hope everyone enjoyed hanging out with me today and watching me pan with this new gold pan. So thanks for watching. Happy panning. And if you're not already a subscriber, think about hitting that subscribe button below.